up in smoke. It's where I wanna be. In my lungs. You like that song?
I do.
That's a beauty, man. A classic.
You have blown my mind with songs, but we'll get to that in a moment here.
Your Uncle Joe's Garage, presented by MAV TV Motorsports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Thorogood is in the Uncle Joe's Garage. Welcome back. Welcome
Joe,
back.
too long.
You have been very busy recently. Very busy. And I gotta tell you, I was surprised when you mentioned last time maybe I'll just record an album where I just play my own instruments. And you actually did. My God. Party of One, you already knew the name. Party of One is the name of the new album. And it's everything, you're playing every instrument on that, aren't you?
That's
Pretty
me.
much.
Yeah, well, it's not quite like every instrument, like the John Fogerty records.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I play one instrument at a time.
What inspired you to go solo at this point in time in your career?
I'm not going solo. It's a solo project, but I'm not going solo.
Okay,
No,
good.
not by a long shot. No, I'm sticking with the Destroyers and the endless rock party that we do. This was just a project that was long overdue, and Rounder Records were available, and they were very interested in this. They had been interested for a while. We were interested when I was with Rounder in the early days. We just never got around to it. And the other labels I was with, they were more interested in rock stuff than a statement such as this. So it was the right time.
This is a great sampling of blues songs. And I'm blown away. You have 3 John Lee Hooker songs on this, a couple from Robert Johnson and Elmore James. Elmore James, what was the first one there? Got to Move. There's a little bit of slide guitar on that. So that's something are these songs you've been playing for a long time?
Some of them, yes, as you know. Some of them I'd never played before. I had to kind of, jump in there. And some of them I had played before, but a long time ago, and had not played them for a long time. So it was a combination of all the above.
Wasn't John Hammond Jr., wasn't he the first guy you saw play blues on stage in New York or something? Did you go to New York to see him?
First blues artist I ever saw, official blues artist I ever saw was B.B. King.
Oh, okay.
It was a show with Elvin Bishop, Paul Butterfield Band,
Wow.
and B.B. King.
Okay.
And the next blues artist I witnessed was Mississippi Fred McDowell.
Oh my God.
I saw him play live. Then after that was when I saw John Hammond. John Paul Hammond, not John Hammond Jr.
I'm sorry.
John Paul Hammond, for the record.
The album starts out with Robert Johnson, I'm a Steady Rollin' Man. I just find it fascinating, the songs that you've selected here. When did you first start playing them? Robert Johnson was, of course, way before you or me. He was around. Where did you pick this one up in order?
Well, off one of the Robert Johnson records. I got both of them. I mean, that's obvious, isn't it?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and plus I like the title. I remember I was turned on to Robert Johnson and Hank Williams almost within the same week.
Oh, wow.
And I'd heard of Robert Johnson, I'd heard of Hank Williams. Wasn't that familiar with their music. I knew the Stones had done Love in Vain, and I knew B.J. Thomas had done I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry in a rhythm and blues style.
Yes.
But I had never really got into these artists, and I was turned on to both of them, Robert Johnson and Hank Williams, at the same time, and I kept listening to one and the other and saying, which one is greater? I couldn't decide. I said, this is the most fantastic. Remember, this is still in the time of Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix, brilliant. The Beatles, brilliant. Dylan, brilliant.
Yep.
And I heard this music and I went, holy smokes. I've never heard anything like this. Both of them.
Dylan surprised me also. You did Down the Highway from Freewheelin'. I've never thought about you playing Dylan songs before, but this is from early on. He made an impression on you, evidently.
Joe, everybody plays Dylan songs. It's just, we all do. It's like singing Stephen Foster.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Everybody plays Dylan songs once in a while. I wanted something from Bad Bob. I call him Bad Bob.
Yeah.
I call him Bad Bob. But anyway, I wanted to get a song from Bad Bob that was closer to what I can do, which he was doing more of a blues thing, like a John Lee Hooker, Lightning Hopkins type guitar. And I said, well, why don't you go after that? that's more your style, to do that. I was lucky to catch Bob at the tail end of his blues trip before he was going into his originals. And because he was doing that before, he was into, of course, Woody Guthrie, and he was into, Blind Lemon Jefferson, and he was into everybody, Robert Johnson, he was into the whole trip. And he fooled around with that a little bit. You can hear it in his music. And Down the Highway, so that's a great title for a song.
Yes, it is.
Sounds like, it sounds like Bob Dylan.
The song Wang Dang Doodle, Willie Dixon love song. And there's a nasty little harmonica part on that, too. I should have remembered that you play harmonica.
Well put, Joe. It's very little and very nasty. just a little bit of both.
Yes,
And try not to get carried away.
The new album is Party of One, your first solo album. You're aware of this. Was it daunting going into the studio by yourself?
It's always daunting.
Yeah?
That's a good word, daunting.
Daunting, yeah.
What exactly does daunting mean? Like,
Well, if something happens, you got the band to back you up. But if you're on your own, the verge of nervousness is right there.
Kind of like a trapeze artist without a net?
There you go.
Something like that?
Something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that, yes. Now, I should have called the album Undaunted.
That'll be the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, George Thorogood's Undaunted, now available.
Well, it was a little strange to do that because it was, all on me to make this thing work. And I did a couple things with one of our engineers, and I said, "Oh, can't we do this and then put this on top of it or something?" He goes, "No, you can't. You're playing alone. You can't sing overdub the." It's not like before. I said, "We got to get it all like Peter O'Toole. We got to get it all in one thing."
One thing.
And I thought that I said, "Man, Robert Johnson does not get enough credit."
You also had Jim Gaines handle production on this, and he worked with John Lee Hooker and Stevie Ray Vaughan
and Santana
and
and Steve Miller, Stevie Guitar Miller.
Yep.
Jim Gaines is the man. Yeah, he's been around, knows what he's doing, and a great human being, a wonderful guy to be with, real warm.
Did he at some point, when I don't know what it's like working with somebody like that, a producer like that, what was it, did he say, you got another one in you, or was it, that was pretty good, or?
He like all producers should do like a good director of a movie with an actor.
Yeah.
They bring things out of you that they see in you that you don't see yourself. You say, "Well, I can't do that," and they go, "Look," and he was very gentle like that. He's a gentleman anyway. He's not one of those guys, "I know you can do it, do it or I kill you." There are people like that.
Yes, there are.
But that really doesn't work with me. And he'd like, his thing, Jim's thing is, the word attitude?
Yes.
Well, he shortens it. He's like a very hipster. People like to shorten their things. Like if you say, "We're going to cut a song like Sympathy for the Devil," he said, "We're going to do devil."
Okay.
He's hip. So he'd always say, "I want more tude, brother. More tude." I mean, attitude. I go, "Why?" And he goes, "I don't care how good you can play or anything. I want more tude. I want that Thorogood tude."
I love it.
So he was into pulling that out. I said, "Well, attitude I got."
Indeed.
But he couldn't get enough of that. That was Jim, his thing.
The new album is blues songs, and it includes Hank Williams, a number I'd never heard before, Pictures from Life's Other Side. That was actually a pretty heavy song.
Everything Hank did was heavy.
Yeah?
I think so. You can listen to, I always say that Hank Williams, right up there with Bob Dylan, are probably the two greatest blues writers ever.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you listen to Hank Williams' lyrics, most of the time they're sad. They're sad lyrics.
Yep.
It's rarely is it a happy thing. And I said, "No, Hank plays country." I go, "No, he doesn't. Hank plays the blues. He sings the blues." And Dylan's right there with him. I mean, I listened to a line that Hank Williams wrote that says, "The silence of a shooting star lights up a purple sky."
Oh my God.
How beautiful is that?
Oh my God.
And Dylan matched it when he said, "To dance beneath the diamond sky with one hand waving free." I said, "Bob, you did it.
Wow.
You did it. You matched Hank Williams. You can't go any farther." So both of those cats looked and I said, "You ever listen to Bob Dylan sing 'I Threw It All Away'? How sad is that?" So that's like, I said, "Well, the greatest blues song to me ever was the song 'Yesterday.' There's a young man singing about the passing of his mother. Now, what can be more sad than that? You see, so sometimes people misinterpret what is really blues.
That's true.
Or what is really, it's country, it's rock. I said, to me, anything that's sad is blues. Anything that's happy is rock and roll.
I'd go for that.
Huh?
I'd go for that. There's a song on this that's a couple of guys, I believe, from Texas, Gary Nicholson and Alan Shamblin, really good songwriters. And your version of their song, Soft Spot, you were talking about my parents in that. I suspect you were talking about your parents as well. And then here we are with Hurricane Harvey has just recently hit as well.
Yes.
Where did you find these guys? Something you've known
I didn't.
from?
The song itself was brought to my attention from Rounder Records. And as most people, I mean, I don't want to be whatever, but I have I have a thing about homeless people. I was a street musician myself at one time. Spent a lot of time in the streets with no place to go, no place to sleep, nothing to eat. I just had to make it on my own. But that was by my own choice because I was a struggling musician.
Yeah.
So by my own choice, I was on the streets trying to make it. There's a lot of unfortunate people that's not the case. So as years went on, we've done benefits here and there for things for homeless people. So when the song came to my attention, I listened to the lyrics. I said, "That's it. That's where it's at." I just thought a little bit more than just a soft spot. I said, helping these people isn't a soft spot. I just think it's common sense.
Yeah, it is.
Just to help.
It is. You did a beautiful job in the song, too.
Thank you.
Let's go back in time a little bit further. I know for a fact you were a Rolling Stones fan from the earliest days. Were you a Beatles fan as well?
I enjoyed the Beatles. They freaked me out like they freaked the whole world out. I mean, everybody freaked out on them. They were like, they were the Elvis Presley of our time.
Yes.
They just completely blew the whole thing open. Yeah, I got a couple of their records and I liked them, but my first true fanship, as you want to put it, was the Rolling Stones.
So, would you agree that Beggar's Banquet was their most humane album they did? Their most real subjects being discussed on Beggar's Banquet?
I would have to say it's my favorite Stones record.
Good.
I mean, my favorite, personally, and I really think that, to me, that was the real peak of the Rolling Stones in the Brian Jones era, when they'd just come off Santana, Majesty's Request, which didn't quite go over too good.
Yeah.
Although I liked a lot of songs on that record.
Exactly.
But when Beggar's Banquet came out, I said, this is them. This is the Stones at they're outcasts. They're not, they're not nice boys that you want to invite over or whatever. And Brian Jones fit that to a T.
To a T.
And he played some really great slide guitar on that record.
No Expectations was a fine choice on your part.
Well, thank you.
George Thorogood playing the Saban Theater the 22nd of this month and Riverside's Fox Performing Arts Center as well. You've played both those venues before, haven't you?
I know I've done the
Saban.
Yeah, it's our second time there. It's fantastic.
Beautiful little
really great
room, beautiful room. The album is called Party of One, your first solo album. You included a track on there that an old friend of ours recorded, Bob Coburn. The track One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer, which has some great guitar picking. Congratulations on that. You included that, and I made mention of Bob along the way from 1999. There was a lot going on there, wasn't there?
Bob was one of the team.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He was just one of the team. As all of you folks, I look at you and Cynthia and Jim Ladd and Bob Coburn. When I first got going in this business, you people kind of took me under their wing and got me into classic rock radio and things like that, and encouraged me to say, what you're doing is okay. Just keep doing it, and you'll get better at it.
Yeah, well, I
Bob
didn't say that, did I?
No. Well, Bob was one of those kind of people. So always enjoyed working with him. Always enjoyed being with him. And he showed a lot of class when Jim Ladd got his, he got like a star.
Walk of Fame.
Yeah, he got a star thing. And I was in attendance to that. And Bob showed up supporting Jim Ladd on that. And I thought that was pretty classy.
Very cool.
Very classy.
There's a couple of things in your past that I evidently forgot about. And let me we'll change the subject a little bit here off the blues. Although the new album is called Party of One, I completely forgot that you played at Live Aid.
Why did you forget that? A band like you? That's not like you, Joe.
I know.
That's not like you.
I must be done. It must be over. But you also played with Bo Diddley that time, didn't you?
Yes.
And who else was there?
Albert Collins.
That's a pretty nice little lineup. You just call those guys up, or they happen to be around? Or?
It was a crazy day. It was a fantastic day because the artist that introduced us behind the curtain was the one and only TV superstar, George Siegel.
Oh, my God.
He had his banjo out there. And he was, playing, and he introduced us. And while he was doing it, it was rap. The curtain was closed. I saw this guy across the stage. He had like this black and white shirt, looked like a bowling shirt, black pants and his shoes on. They look like a guy walked out of bowling alley. He comes walking up to me and he goes, Georgie, Jack. I went, Jack, you know me? He goes, I always follow the Rough Boys. That was quite an event.
Wow, along with 1 billion people. So George, we've established that the Rolling Stones are your first major love in Rolling Stones rock and roll kind of stuff. And Beatles were pretty important to you as well. Was that beforehand, or did you decide that it's not going to be an effort to look like the Rolling Stones, maybe playing the music? Where did the Beatles fandom come in? And the Stones the same way?
No, it was different with the Rolling Stones, very different. When I saw the Beatles on television, when Paul McCartney went to the mic and said, close your eyes, and that's how the whole world began. It exploded after that. Mm-hmm. But it was a live show from Ed Sullivan's show we were watching. And being a kid growing up where I grew up, I looked at the Beatles, all 4 of them, and I said, this is the first time I've ever seen anybody happy.
Oh my God.
In my whole life.
Oh my God.
Now in the movie, actors are acting happy, or in TV shows.
Yeah.
But most people were always grumpy. You know, men didn't like their wives, they didn't like their kids, the kids didn't like their brothers, they didn't like their parents, you didn't like their teachers, the teachers didn't like you.
Yep.
These guys were happy.
Yep.
And I said, holy smokes, this is great. And I think they did that for everybody. They brought happiness to people, or a hope for happiness. When the Rolling Stones came along and I checked out their music, I thought 3 things. I said, the Beatles represent freedom.
Okay.
They're young, they're talented, they got money, they're healthy, they got it all.
Yep.
They're free.
Yeah.
A gym teacher will not tell them to cut their hair. Okay. They don't have to go in the army.
Yes.
Okay,
true,
so they were that. I listened to Dylan, I said, Dylan represents truth.
Okay.
The word truth when I heard Dylan's music. Even indirectly, if I heard it through Peter, Paul, and Mary, or if I heard it through the Byrds.
Yep.
It was his lyrics, and but the Stones represented hope for me, hope. Because they weren't writing Blowing in the Wind,
No.
or they weren't writing, Hard Day's Night. You know, they were doing covers of Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry, and I thought, they might make it on their looks. I don't know. But for me, a regular guy, I looked at the Stones and they represented hope for me as a guy that I could do something and be successful. If you're looking at the Beatles as your target, or Dylan, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Did you ever get your hair to look like Brian Jones?
I'm still working on that.
You still play guitar every day?
Not every day, no. I don't.
Give it a break every now and then.
Well, I play a lot when I'm on the road. I do a lot of, I don't,
Okay.
People say, well, you should sit around, jam, play the guitar, and I thought, well, I don't think when, the season's over, Joe Montana goes out and throws the football around in the backyard, I save it up for the performances, basically.
Dig it.
I should play more.
Well, finally, some truth.
Yes, I should play more. Randy Newman told me that, too. He said he's very lazy. He said he just doesn't play, and he doesn't play for 2 days, doesn't play for 3 days, doesn't play for 4 days, and then people come up to him and say, Randy, you got to play, and he goes, ugh. And then he'd get ugh, And to me, it's an exercise in futility. If there's no audience, it doesn't mean anything to me.
I see.
I'm just one of those kind of cats.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure there's an audience wherever we go next, okay?
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Can always rely on you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for coming to the garage with us.
Reliable Uncle Joe Benson.
Thank you very much. Dangerous George Thorogood with us here in the garage. Hey, here we are inside your Uncle Joe's garage, and I know you haven't been inside the garage yet, but I got some great news for you. We've created a mobile version of the Uncle Joe's garage thanks to our friends at Mike Thompson RV Superstores. Like they say, don't miss a moment. And don't miss the mobile Uncle Joe's garage when it comes to a location near you. I'll be looking for you.